This is a 2013 Audi A5. It has the 2-liter 4-cylinder TFSI turbocharged motor. It is my son's car. Well, it's my car that my son has the privilege of driving. It has 110,000 miles on it, and I've already done a bunch of maintenance preventative-wise, but it is time to clean the intake valves. I'm not doing this job because something is inherently going wrong with the car. This is purely preventative maintenance. At 110,000 miles, the last thing I want is my son to be stuck on the side of the road somewhere due to mechanical failures. So I am not by any means a mechanic, and this is not going to be a tutorial video. This is just going to be purely for entertainment to see how this goes. I'm not overly excited about doing it. I know it's going to be a big job. First part will be the removal of the intake manifold, the fuel injectors, and call it quits there for like the first video. Then the second video will focus on the carbon cleaning, which is going to be, I'm going to do that with walnut blasting. So I bought a walnut blasting kit. I'll need to use my air compressor on that, as well as my shop vac. It's the first time I've ever done that, so can't wait to see how this goes. But we'll see. So that'll be part 2. And then part 3, I think we will do the reinstallation. So fuel injectors, I got all new fuel injectors, fuel rail back in, and then the intake manifold will go back on. And the reason why I'm going to do one on the reinstallation is because I'm sure you can all agree that installation is not always the reverse of removal. So here are all the parts that are going to be installed over these videos. So here you can see I have oil, given that this is an A5 with a Volkswagen 2-liter. It's kind of no secret that these things have a reputation of burning oil. There's a lot of different theories. I guess some might be kind of proven, issues with the piston rings, that basically oil gets gunked up in there. So I have switched over to this Valvoline Restore and Protect 5W30. Honestly, ever since we started putting that into the car, it seems like the interval where my son needs to top off the oil has been getting a little bit less and less. I don't have any scientific proof or any data to back that up. This is just going by what seems like longer intervals. So here we also are going to be installing new coils for new injectors, as well as spark plugs. This is a toolkit to be able to get the injectors out of the block if I have any issues. It's basically a slide hammer. And then the walnut blasting. So that's a 20-pound abrasive pressure blaster. I got a lot of this, if not all of it, off of FCP Euro. It's not sponsored by any means. I'm just letting you know where I ended up getting it from. And then here is the media, which is the crushed walnut shells. All right, so I'm gonna get going on this now. It is mid-July here in North Carolina, and it is very, very hot in the garage right now. So I'm going to get the garage door open. I'm gonna get the man door open so I can get some breeze going through here, get the fans going. First things first, I am going to get the car up in the air. I am going to use the quick jacks to get it up. Also, because at the end of this I am going to be doing an oil change, I need to get the belly pan underneath off anyway, which is a total pain in the butt on these Audis. It's actually harder on more of a pain in the butt on my RS5. So I am going to get going, get the quick jacks out, get them under the car, get it up off the ground, and then we'll get going. Now what's going to make this job a little bit more difficult is this is a flex fuel car, so it has the aluminum intake manifold. And from all the videos and tutorials I've seen, it makes this quite a bit more difficult, or maybe not difficult, but definitely more time consuming as there are more components. It means that this is going to be a little bit more of a difficult job than if it was their plastic intake manifold. Might as well just get into it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the oil filter, and then I will get something to cover the hole. I will get the charge pipe off and get some of these connectors disconnected, and then see where I need to move on from there. I was going to start taking off some of the electrical connectors, but honestly I forgot. I need to take off the belly pan under there. When I start taking off bolts and screws, if anything were to drop, it would be a lot easier to be able to retrieve it if it just falls straight through to the floor. So once the belly pan comes off, then we can get back to removing the intake manifold. As you can see, there's a number of screws and bolts that have to come off. And back here, if you can see, I'm upside down. My apologies. And I'm gonna do that off camera. I'm going to take off the throttle body because that's going to give a lot more room. So off camera, I tried my best to get the fuel rail out with the injectors still inside the fuel rail. I was unsuccessful and gas poured everywhere, so it is what it is. Next step is just to get the injectors out. And you can see the fuel injectors, let's see if we can focus on here, are definitely pretty crusty. So I'm not gonna bother cleaning them off because I have new fuel injectors that are gonna be going in. Well, we got it all out. So the upper and lower intake manifold are out, the fuel rail and the fuel injectors are out. The fuel injectors in cylinders 1 and 4 fought me a little bit, but I was able to get those out without using the actual puller. I was able to just get a little leverage underneath them and pull them out. But as you can see, there's a pretty good amount of carbon buildup. Cylinder 3 is definitely the worst of all of them. The spark plug in cylinder 3 has a little bit more buildup on it as well. All in all, not too bad. Started this job at about 9:30 this morning, and it is about 12:30 now, so about 3 hours. This is the first time I've taken the intake off of one of these cars. Overall, not too bad of a job, especially with the help of the Naptown tuner video for the specific intake removal. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of this, what's going to be a 3-part series. In this episode, we remove the upper intake manifold, the lower intake manifold, the fuel rail, as well as all 4 fuel injectors. In the next video, we're going to do the walnut blasting to clean the intake valves, get that carbon out of there. And then in part 3 will be reassembly. If you enjoyed this, click the like button, consider subscribing. If you have done this job before and you know of some easier ways to do it, please leave a comment in the comment section below, not just for myself, but for anyone else who's looking to tackle this job. It would be a great help. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.